There we are. Okay, so let me actually set this up this way so you're bigger on my screen. And
Okay.
one more chord. Cool. So keep on talking like you were before. Okay, so keep on talking like you were before, and I'll just start drawing.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, this is very amazing.
Mhm.
So so actually, we've heard a little bit about your story before. So you've been doing this drawing for Abu Bakar and stuff like that. But since when you've been doing this portrait drawing? Yeah. How
I've
long
been
was it?
drawing
Yeah.
portraits since about 2013. I started because I was going to university at the time, going to college at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
I would have to take the bus back home. And I
Okay.
didn't have much to do on the bus ride back. In fact, I didn't have the money for textbooks. I didn't have the money for a smartphone. And so there wasn't really much to do to kill the time. So I said, hey, you know what? I like drawing. Maybe I can just sort of doodle the people who are also waiting with me at the bus station. And
Wow.
so I did, and some people liked it. And I was like, you know what? This is kind of fun seeing how they react, seeing how the people smile when they get their pictures. So I kept on going.
Cool. So do you draw much during your current work as a project manager? Yeah.
So when I was working as a data scientist, I actually would draw quite a bit because we had a lot of complicated systems that had to work together. And people would be confused. They'd be like, but what about this part? What about that part? And I'd say, okay, you know what? Let's get in front of a whiteboard. Give me a few different colors of whiteboard marker. And then I would use red in one hand and black in another hand, or green in one hand and blue in the other hand. And I would make those diagrams. And so I was
Data
always,
visualization.
exactly, I was always talking and drawing in order to explain to folks what was going on.
So when you're writing, you also use two hands?
Yes, that's right. So when I write, I usually use whichever hand is closer to the first pen.
Yeah.
When
So
I'm, Mhm.
so I think they have a term for this, right? People who are good with both hands by by dexterity or something like that,
That's right. It's ambidextrous.
Ambidextrity. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't born ambidextrous. It's just something that I learned, that I taught myself after I was 16. When I was 16, I saw a documentary about Leonardo da Vinci that said that he would draw with both hands. And I was like, that is
Mhm.
super cool. I want to be like him. And that's when I started to sort of
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. Well, being a neuroscientist, I've been doing fMRI studies, looking at the brain parts that function in different kind of people with different abilities. Maybe I think it would be interesting to see that by when working in both hands, what part of the brain are activated during those times.
Right. I'm not sure that there's been a lot of research done on it. So
Mhm.
it could be interesting.
Yeah. So just talk a little bit about my previous work. So the project that mainly I'm doing right now is what is known as a cognitive prosthesis.
Mhm.
So actually, you know that some people have difficulty recognizing faces, right? So
Yes.
that is known as a prosopagnosia, right?
Mhm.
So so I've been doing studies in what if we gave them a pair of glasses that using the face recognition technology that detects people's faces and tell them directly by displaying text who this is, and what would this do to their brain? Yeah, and so very surprisingly that we find that by using fMRI that if we provide them with a pair of glasses that that display the text instead of faces. Yeah, that some of help them bypass the damaged part of their brain, and allow them to using an alternative pathway to recognize faces. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That is actually very interesting because a lot of times our brains don't treat things, what our senses give us and what our brains perceive are two different things. We have an extra filter in between. And so, for example, with playing chess, I once saw a documentary where they were talking about this one woman. It's finished, by the way.
Wow, that's cool. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Thank you so much.